Okay. Hi, I'm Caroline Timmerberg, and you're watching Carolina, the most obscure show on the internet. And we are about to raise the bar, Roseanne Barr, and this is her latest book called Roseanne Archie. And she's sitting right next to me, sort of. Hey, Foxy Mama.
Hey, babe, how you doing?
I'm doing.
How's it happening?
You are so yummalicious. Let's talk about your. Let's talk about your unparalleled and unimaginable beauty. You look so gorgeous. What are you doing? What the hell have you been doing?
Well, I floss daily, and I do wash my face each day and apply eyebrows and lipstick, red lips.
Yeah, but is it because you're in a happy, fulfilled relationship? Does that have anything to do with it? Because you're also more serene than maybe you were in past decades, aren't you? A little bit, you think?
Well, I'm very lucky to have a male companion that I can blame everything on, and that really does help relieve my stress, and it does keep me happy to have someone to fight with. His name is John Argent, and he's quite a person to fight with, and that keeps me young and happy.
All right. Now, you guys, you met, you had a writing contest on your blog, right? And did he win the contest?
Well, he was one of the finalists.
So like.
It was for.
Oh, okay.
It was 3 people were winners, actually, him and 2 women.
Okay.
But I wasn't sexually attracted to the women.
I was going to say, if I had entered the contest and won, then you and I would kind of,
Now, here's what sold me on the guy. He was also a great musician,
Yeah.
and I was looking to have a band. So I said, "Hey, I'm looking for information on putting a band together," because he had, been the band leader of a real good singer,
Mm-hmm.
and toured with him and everything. So, I said, "Oh, I want you to." I want to hire you and some musicians to come and help me sing on my 50th birthday, which was 10 years ago. Next year will be 10 years that I've known Johnny, and he still has not put a band together or learned one song that I wanted to learn. So I could sing it, but now I'm going to be 60. But he taught me so much about music in the meantime, and, he's a great partner for me.
You've got to record together. You guys have to record. You've got.
Well, we recorded a whole children's album called Calling All Kids. Johnny wrote those songs. And when I heard that, when I first started talking to him, he's like, "Well, I'd like to send you a CD of some children's songs that I wrote." And so I said, "Go ahead." Well, the first one was called Donut Farm. It was like God, it was written for me. So I'm like, I got to buy that song, Donut Farm. So he did, and then he came out and he did the music, and I sang, and there's about 12 original videos on that. Hey, Hillary, do I have one of those Calling All Kids things?
Yeah, send that to me.
Can you bring it out so I can hold it up and send it to Caroline? But anyway, it's like, we mosey down to the donut farm where the donuts grow. It's like a guitar and everything.
You should do like a blues album.
Donut bushes standing in a row. We saw chocolate.
Okay, got it.
And we saw powder too.
All right, settle down. Settle down, ma'am. Okay, show it. Oh, look at that. Oh, cute.
My whole family worked on this. Jenny did the puppets.
Oh, cute.
Jake did the sets, and Jeff did the design, and my grandkids and son is in it with me. And we got 12 real cute kid songs, including Calling All Kids, Peanut Butter and Jellyfish.
Cute.
And a song I wrote, a blues song, I'm glad you said it, which is called I'm Gonna Tell on You.
I think you should give us a little sample. Give us a sample. Sing some of it. How's it go?
Well, I was singing the Donut Farm.
Oh. Well, what's the other one? Sing the other one.
And Cowboy Sweetheart. That's my all-time favorite song. So I had to buy that from Patsy, Montana for $30,000. and I put it on here. If anybody knows that song, Cowboy Sweetheart, that's a good song.
Well, do you
I
like?
dabble in it, you know. I love country, western music, blues, and pop music, and all those are represented on there. It's fun. It was rad. It
Well,
took a whole.
you really have amazing tonsils. I don't. It's one of the best kept secrets of living your vocal talents. You guys should do you've got to do a blues album. Please do one. Say
I was thinking of it. I was thinking of singing. Thank you for that. You know, I like the blues. Yeah, I do. They're rad. Blues are rad.
They're totally rad.
There's so many songs. My problem is, I'll go like, which song am I going to sing? And then I'll just get pulled by, there's 10 million excellent songs. But you know what song I really like singing is that Natalie Merchant song, Build Yourself a Levee. God, is that good. I'm going to sing that sometime.
Oh, you should. Well, yeah, just get in there, get in your studio back there and lay down some tracks, Mama. You really should.
I love, yeah, after I'm elected president, I'm, you know, I hope I don't win so that I have some time.
Well, okay, so I want to. You were kind of. Weren't you? Were you not kind of easing into like a pleasant retirement? And you were in Hawaii. And how did you? What happened that you decided to run for president? Was it one event, or was it a cumulative ire?
Well, I know that ever since I was a little girl, I knew that I would run for president after I had my own show.
Yeah.
And of course, all those things came true. But I knew it when I was about 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was a voice for sanity and for women's rights, and equality of all people, gays, every people.
Mm-hmm.
And because I just had a passion for it always, because that was how my family was, very socialistic, and I was just raised that way.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but I started thinking of being the president seriously in 2010, when I was asked to actually run for the nomination of the Green Party by its last candidate for president, who is named Cynthia McKinney. Cynthia called me up and she's like, "You got to carry the water. It's all fallen to you now. You should carry the water for the American left."
Wow.
So I said, "Well, I got to serve my country and my country folk."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Let me think about it." And I waited too long. But, at the last minute, I sort of entered the race because I felt like I owed it or something to the American people, and that I needed to serve my country. So that's why I ran. I couldn't run away from it no more, especially when I saw nobody else was talking about the things I'm talking about.
Yeah. But you were saying earlier, you're on, how many ballots are you? You've got a few states now that you are doing quite well in, and despite, maybe you did start late, but it's kind of taken off on its own, hasn't it? Your campaign, it's picking up some steam.
Well, it has picked up steam, but it's just like a David and Goliath thing. But the thing I like about it is that my family name is David, and that's the other reason I decided to run, because, I think I can slay the Goliath with the right words. I think the Goliath can be slewed, and it's giant. International corporatism against the individual rights, the rights of the individual and of freedom, and of the individual to have peace and freedom as an option in their lives all over the planet, and to have food and like a good environment and things that people deserve, rather than slavery and endless war.
Yeah.
So I am. My family name is David, and I'm coming for the heart of the beast.
What are the major crises right now? Because it's hard for me to kind of get a handle on it over here in Germany. What are the three major crises in the USA that must be dealt with immediately? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it depends on how constitutional you want to be about it, or how populist. I mean, the the subtext of it is that it's a failed Senate, a failed government that refuses to address the need of healthcare and jobs. Instead, they just practice a politics of obstructionism where each side covers their own ass and blames the other one. But in fact, both of these sides, the Republicans and the Demopublicans, they work for the same guys, which are international bankers, the Federal Reserve and the International Monetary Fund. They both are owned by big money. Politics is big money's bitch, and I don't think it should be that way. I don't think that we should return to a system of feudalism. I think it's a new century, and we have the power and the wherewithal, as well as the talent and the numbers, to just totally divest ourselves of slavery in all its forms, and of war too, because the only reason that wars are waged is so to keep captive a labor force. So it all works together. And then, of course, a system of usury is also an obsolete thing that I'm running to replace because, as I said to you before, and I try to make this point, the system of usury creates a system of debt, not a system of wealth. And the American people need, as well as every other people, because I think I'm president of the world, really, because it is a one world. Whether you like it or not, that's how it is.
Yeah.
So I say let's move forward and stop, fiddling around, because it is that. And so now it's time to step into it. And yeah, all people all over this world should be guaranteed of a decent living wage and health care, and of birth control and reproductive rights, and an end to what I call the pedo, pirate, Ponzi, patriarchal priest class that decides the rights of women, children, and men all over this planet. It's a failed system, and it can easily be replaced, and I have given a lot of thought of how to easily replace it. Won't have to change anything, really, except for hearts and minds. Won't have to disband, won't have to reinvent the wheel. We'll still have the world's largest military, but we'll have them distributing food to the needy and protecting the helpless from, people like Joseph Kony and Paul the Vulture Singer, and a criminal class that are predators that prey on the weak and the innocent, and actually have invented a stock market whereby they get a payout when they kill somebody. Because they're, like I said, sociopaths and criminals. And, I think that I would also use our vast jurisprudence system to track down, along with our military, to track down the guilty, which fortunately we can easily find. They sit at the top of every multinational corporation. And we can use maritime law rather than civil law to follow the money and pirate back our stolen booty. Ahoy, mateys!
Well, do you think people are mad enough? Are they mad enough to want change? Because I don't know. I really can't tell. It just seems like there's no dialogue. There's no room for dialogue. And it seems like it's the same as it was 236 years ago. There were two opposing parties and a big, thick layer of woman-hating smack down the middle. And it's that way today, isn't it?
George Washington, our first president, said he feared the day when there would be two parties of wealthy bankers who would rule over the United States of America. So, of course, I'm saying, George, President Washington, I've got your back and I hear you. And you're right, bro. And thank you. But it's true.
What?
Yes.
Well, what kind of
and Abraham Lincoln was trying to kick out the Federal Reserve himself, and you see what happened to him. We're up against entrenched power, the rights of the individual against the rights of the state and the federal government. There are huge issues in this election, such as California legalized medical marijuana, but President Obama is sending in federal troops to Oakland to close down all channels of distribution for something that's legal.
Yeah.
But yet he tells the gays, oh, it's pretty much a states' rights issue about whether you can get married or not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just open hypocrisy and bullshit.
Yeah.
On both sides. I do think that I do think the Democrats are 2% less filthy than the Republicans. I want to go on record for that.
Not by much, though. Really, not by much.
2%. But at least they still believe that women have the right to be covered for reproductive issues and pregnancy under the health care insurance programs, which really, they didn't debate this on the third-party debates either, but really that's a bullshit scam because there should be health care, not health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And people, some group of pedo women haters shouldn't be deciding what women do with their bodies and what's going to be paid for. And in fact, they have done that. And I'm speaking to people in the military, they're American citizens there in Germany. You know, even for raped women soldiers who may be impregnated by rape, they're refusing to cover the cost of their abortions too. Talking about that's freedom. Well, excuse me, but people are over there fighting so that women can control their own bodies. Excuse me. And you can't deny women's health care for women's bodies. That's like pigdom at the max. I can't stand it.
You can't even believe that it's a subject. So tell me, well, let's say when your grandkids when they are our age, what kind of world will they be looking at? What do they have to look forward to in the USA, for example?
Well, you know, my grandkids do call me the president.
As well they should.
They say, but I swear they go, that's not how the president should talk to me. That's not the way the president talks. I go, oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry. This is the time for swearing. Absolutely. But, if I win, they're going to be living in a groovy world full of art and, friendship.
Well, they have that now, though, don't they?
Yeah, but I want it for all the kids on the planet.
No.
And it's easily attainable. And you know, Caroline, it would be far cheaper than the cost of this other shit in the long run. That's why I don't understand these greedy, money-worshipping capitalists, why they don't want even more money. But it's just because I figure, well, they just like to see people suffer. They get off on it.
They do. I think that too. I think I don't know. It's the thing in human nature. There's nothing that's more satisfying to some people than to overpower something and then kill it. Okay. Yeah. Especially if it's something of like a thing of peace or beauty, it must die. Okay. So. Well,
that's how it is.
Well, yeah,
it's awareness that has to be attacked. That's what awareness and memory, and they have to interfere in the people's ability to unite with their neighbors. They can't have that. You can't sell weapons to neighbors that get along. It's just like all backward. But I think it's time. It's a new century now. Excuse me, I scratched my arm.
I was going to say,
It's time for It's time for new workable solutions, and it's just let's leave the mother centuries behind. We got the internet now. Let's friggin' figure out how to solve one problem at a time, and they're easily solved. I think the problem of overpopulation, that's a pretty huge problem. It's got to be solved.
Yeah. Now, let's say, what happens on November 6th? Well, let's say when your political aspirations do not turn out as optimal as one would hope. What will you...
What? Say that. You're cursing me with your
No, I'm not cursing you. Okay, then we won't. Okay, scratch that.
No, I'm going to win.
Yes.
And you mean when I take office?
Oh, that's what I meant. I'm sorry, ma'am. Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I meant.
I'm working on my acceptance speech today.
I know. How was it on Sean Hannity's show? How did that go? I wasn't able to watch that because they don't show all those
Fucking
things.
asshole, man.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd say that. How, what a creep.
He tried to be nice, but it was like you could see his like the reptilian eyes, and they were starting to flash, and the tongue was like this. Reptile was starting to come out, and he was like trying real hard. I could see that he was telling himself, "Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Don't unleash the reptile yet." And but when it was time to unleash the reptile, he did it. But you know what? There was shame in his eyes, which I hadn't seen before. Because I thought, wow, that's cool that he has some shame for attacking American mothers.
No, especially you. Oh, why did you go on his show? What was that? Why did you dare go on his show anyway?
Because I wanted to say exactly what I said to him. There's a class war going on in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I got to say it. I had to be called every name in the book. But, I like that he's so deferential to Palin, though. That's my favorite. He kisses her fucking ass, but man, he can't wait to insult me. That pissed me off, actually. I like Palin. I just have to say, I really do like her.
You do, honestly?
I don't like her politics, yet I like her.
What do you like about her?
I think that she's got a good heart, but she's just misled. Mm-hmm. And I asked her to join me for a beer so I could straighten her out and tell her some facts that she may not be aware of that I feel would alter her point of view. And I'm still waiting to hear back. I'm waiting to hear back from all of them. Mrs. Romney, I asked her to pray with me on behalf of the American Lamanite Nation. And, she hadn't responded neither. Neither has Jill Stein. Nobody responds. But, that's my role, is to raise questions that get no response.
Yeah. So what are the tent poles now of your campaign? Go over those with us one more time, please.
Number one, end all wars.
Okay.
And the war on drugs, which is a very costly and ghastly exercise in prohibition.
Right.
A failed attempt at prohibition. Mm-hmm. They legalized it in Colorado, and a guy was just on 60 Minutes this past week talking about how that fact has indeed grown an entire economy for the people of Colorado. I'd like to see it do, and it has worked like that for people in California too, and everywhere it's been legalized. I'd like to see the legalization of all marijuana and people be allowed to grow it. Everybody smokes it. Why not sell it and get some tax dough off it? Everybody's on it. And if they're not, they damn well should be. And get off the Zoloft and all that other crap.
Right.
THC is the answer to all of our problems, as is growing hemp. That'll save our asses. We can grow hemp right after we nationalize Monsanto. I have figured out, and if you want to know more about my economic ideas for sustainability in America, go to roseanneworld.com. It's all there, and it's all also on roseanneforpresident2012.org. All of my positions to, lawsuits I've paid for on behalf of the American people, proving that all tribal treaties can be renegotiated at this time due to the Patriot Act. And, I really have put a lot of lawsuits out there so that I could get on the ballot as a write-in. I had to sue the state of Tennessee, and let me tell you, it was a pleasure to sue and win in the state of Tennessee. And here I am still sitting, waiting on the state of Georgia to acknowledge that lawsuit went down and that I won it. And I hope Georgia does that before the election instead of after, but I'm sure it won't, as that's Newt Gingrich's hometown there, and the last thing he wants any kind of democracy. But these things have happened, and I've also sued for the removal of the Electoral College. And I'm just an old rich Jewish lady, and I like to fund a lot of lawsuits on behalf of the of America. Why not? Why not?
Well, when are things going to open up for third parties more? Why is the USA so tight-ass about the third party idea? The two-party system doesn't work, dorks, does it?
No, I call it the fundraising arm of the duopolistic prison military industrial complex.
Oh my God.
A patriarchy.
Okay. So listen.
It's a bullshit Ponzi scheme from top to bottom that benefits a few people at the top of an artificial pyramid while crushes all the people at the bottom and sets up people in the middle as like pawns of the people at the top. So it's just a stupid winner take all anti-representational republic, which is what the United States actually is. The government we have is in no way in compliance with our actual Constitution. And a lot of people on the left and the right who are Americans and the middle are concerned with the fact that our Constitution is, has been changed and almost ruined in front of our very eyes. Congress shouldn't be declaring. I mean, they've taken the people out of our own government, and we've got to put ourselves back in. That's kind of the reason I'm running too. And, the voice of the people has to be heard, and the voice of the people is all about the following. Public money belongs to the public. Hello, period, the end.
Yeah. So tell me what kind of things what makes you anxious? What makes you have worry? Do you have either of those things? Are you pretty peaceful and at one with yourself?
I love myself.
Okay. You know what?
Now, I'm old.
I love myself.
One good shot, and it's serious. Like, my conscience moves me to try to speak for the kids coming up because, nobody's doing that. I just felt I had to. Somebody had to. They shouldn't be burdened with this enormous debt. They should be living in hog heaven.
I know.
This should be hog heaven, as we used to call it in Utah. This whole planet should be, heaven.
Yeah.
Not hell.
Well, yeah, if people want it. I don't think they want it. People just want to be mean and just, I don't know. People, I don't know.
Well, everybody has the mean and the nice side. But, everybody goes around talking about freedom of choice and all that. But that's the real freedom of choice. Are you going to act nice or are you going to be mean?
Right.
That's so evolutionary. And, it's evolutionary that people are waking up and becoming more and more aware every day. I'm very excited by that, and excited by the fact that, over the last 10 years, not in public, but in private, I have traveled all over the world, and I've talked to women of damn near every nation. And boy, it's rad. I'm able to talk to them, and I'm able to hear them. And everybody wants the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. We just differ on the methods. So that's what I think we need to get down to, figuring out the methods we're going to employ to solve our problem.
Mm-hmm. You are such a pussycat. I've never understood that, people just don't see that you're just a big pussycat. I don't know. I love you.
Well, I love you too, and you are a very sweet person yourself.
You made fun of my bangs. You made fun of my hair.
I just said you should move them to the side, but I realized that was me being too imperialistic in my bangs opinion. Everyone has the right to their own bangs. I've got to remind myself of that.
Oh, shoot. All right, babes. So, yeah. So, let's just end it.
Peace and freedom.
You too. Yeah, same to you, Mama. What's that song you used to sing? You used to do your Jambayez. That was funny. Well,
I was born 29 years ago. I didn't know it then, but I was a lesbian. I went to school and got my MSW, and now